Let's talk justice and the Justice Department specifically, allowing people seeking to resolve civil disputes involving amounts of 20,000 Rand or less. Now, they can use the small claims court without using a lawyer. It's actually quite an easy process to follow if you know how to use it and actually understand how it works. It's a huge pleasure to welcome to the show Mr. Modise Molekoa from the Justice Department and Constitutional Development, making time for us this morning. Good morning. I appreciate your time. I'm going to get into the conversation about the court now, but I'm sure you'll be aware, I just want to get a comment from you, if you can, about the information regulator slapping the department with this 5 million Rand fine for a failure to comply with enforcement notices issued by the regulator. Can you provide a comment on that before we talk courts?
Not exactly. It's a matter that our DG and the DDG ICT are assist with. It's an unfortunate situation that happened, but the matter has been attended to now.
All right, so I'll scale that up to the DG then, perhaps the right person to ask, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't ask you while you're sitting here with me. So it is such an easy process, small claims court, but the moment South Africans hear the word court, they panic. They think they need a lawyer and an advocate and lots of money. That's not the case.
No, not exactly. Maybe to put the whole issue into a proper perspective, the initiative to establish small claims court happened around 1980. It's quite a long time ago. And there was a commission of inquiry, a commission that was established to look into the functioning and the structure of the court system in the country. And out of that assignment, there was a need identified to have a court system that is very speedy, it's cost effective, it's user-friendly, so that people, as and when they come to the courts, they don't feel like intimidated, as you say.
What's the turnaround times for claims? Because it's not a very large amount of money, but I can imagine for those wanting to claim, it can be a very personal issue and it's money that's important to them. So what's the turnaround claims for this?
Usually we're looking at about roughly, if all goes well, a month and 2 weeks would be fine, because there are timelines. If you want to approach the court, firstly, you need to go through the process of having to send a letter of demand to a person.
When you say you, who's the you in this?
The you is
the complainant.
It's a complainant.
Okay.
How it works, any natural person can lay a complaint with a small claims court. And but your company or a juristic person can be a respondent, but they cannot be the complainant. So we're looking at plus minus 14 days that you are allowed to respond to a letter of demand, failing which there is another 10 days where summonses are issued to you for you to respond to the summonses. And from there, once you fail to respond to the summonses, there will be a time where as a respondent, you will be afforded an opportunity at the hearing to say whatever that you want to say. If you have got a statement to say you are not in for the claim, you will have a chance to state your statement of defense. I
want to use a practical example just for anyone watching. Let's use me as an example. Yes. If I have a claim against, I'm an individual. Yes. I'm a person. I'm not a juristic person. Yes. I'm a person. I want to make a claim against a photographer who hasn't provided the service that was promised. Yes. What's that process? Take me through step one. What do I do?
Firstly, you need to engage with the photographer to say, by the way, there is a claim that you need to settle with me. And if nothing happens, you approach one of our courts. We've got 415 courts right across the country. Each and every court is a designated small claims court sitting. So there will be a court at your nearest level. But now, what needs to happen, one should take into account the issue of jurisdiction. Firstly, you need to be resident within or working within the district within which you want to go. Secondly, your arrangement with your photographer should have happened within the jurisdiction of the area. Suppose you had you visited Cape Town or Durban,
Right, right.
and you and your photographer went into those discussions there. So what it means, the court that might have jurisdiction, it's still the court in Cape Town, because you live and work here in Joburg. Even here, the court will have jurisdiction.
Okay.
So the person would be given 14 days. The letter of demand will exactly set out the nature of your claim and the date on which the claim arose. And that person has got 14 days to respond, failing which you then go back to the court. The clerk of court will assist you to complete the summonses, which summonses will then be forwarded. You either have to engage the services of a sheriff or you yourself. You can serve the person if maybe the two of you are not really in
seeing eye to eye.
Seeing eye to eye. You have the luxury of getting somebody else that you can authorize to go and serve the summonses. And upon serving the summonses, there is what we call return of service. A return of service would be an indication to say the respondent was properly served. Because that is very much important. Because if the commissioner, on the date of the hearing, suppose the respondent does not come, should the commissioner find that there is proof that the person was served, immediately the commissioner can then make a judgment in default. Whether the person is there or not, the commissioner will make a default judgment against that person.
I'm glad you mentioned the word proof as well, because I find this fascinating, and please correct me if I have this wrong, Modise. Please go ahead and grab some water. Where does the burden of proof sit? Because if you can go to a small claims court without a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, how do I go about getting proof that even a small claims court will accept? Just walk me through that, because now who does the work?
Remember, if you approach the court, you need to be coming with all kinds of documentary proof that you have. Contracts,
etc.
Contracts, whatever. If there are pictures, if there are whatever, you bring those things to
WhatsApps?
the court. Yes, that as well. But now, how the system works, the case is presided by the commissioner. Now the commissioner engages in what is called the inquisitorial kind of an approach. He's the one that is asking probing questions. Firstly, you will be allowed as a complainant to state your case. And after that, the commissioner would then have to find out from the respondent if he admits or denies the claim. And it will go like that up until the commissioner comes to a just conclusion to say, given the facts before him, this is how he sees the matter to be finalized.
Is there any money at any stage of this that needs to be paid over either by the complainant or the defendant? Do you need to have any money in a bond or any kind of security in place financially to go through a process?
No, there is nothing. As the legislative intention of the Small Claims Court, the court is supposed to be very much cost effective, very informal, so that you'll understand that in your mainstream courts, if you have to go to an attorney, you will be expected to pay what is called a consultation fee of whatever. It ranges from 1,500 to 2,500. But here, there is nothing. You're not paying anything. If as a complainant, at the end of the hearing, the commissioner is finding in your favor, he may as well grant you the cost, and the cost will only be limited to the cost of the sheriff.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Oh, wow, this is fast. You and I could talk all day. I really actually hope that we get a chance between Cindy and I to talk to you again. I think you've laid this out beautifully. It's one of the things we're trying to focus on a weekly basis as well, is also on a Wednesday, just get a better sense of how law works. And this for small claims, I think, is fantastic. I think you've laid it out beautifully for anybody that is wanting to resolve civil disputes at small claims courts, less than 20,000 Rand,
yes,
is my understanding. And it's what a pleasure to have you in with us. Thank you so much. Acting Chief Director for Court Administration. You can hear he knows his stuff. Of course he does. Modise Molekoa. Hopefully it won't be the last time we speak to the good Modise. Hopefully he'll make time for us again in weeks to come. So if you're one of those people, you're looking at a small claims court situation. Now you know how it works. Go Google your nearest regional district courthouse, and now you know what you can and what you cannot do.